Welcome back to Women We Should Know, the podcast where I am always honored and delighted to bring you the voices, the actions, the initiatives of women who are breaking paradigms, women who are standing up and reminding the world that this is the time of the woman, women who are standing up and holding their hand out to other women to help lift them forward. And it is always my pleasure to have these conversations. Never does one of these conversations go by where I am not making copious notes, learning all kinds of things myself. And I know from the comments that some of you have sent that you are learning as well. And that is the whole purpose of us being here, is to learn together, to share together, and to lift one another. Now today, I'm starting out the year a little differently by not bringing on a guest. And instead, I wanted to take this moment and come and share with you a variety of things that I am up to. A lot of things that I'll be bringing forward as the year progresses. And so I hope you'll stick with me and that we'll have a lovely time together. Well, Happy New Year. And as we move into this 2023, I wanted to invite you to take a look at the Shattering Your Own Glass Ceilings Masterclass for Female Leadership. As I was putting this together, I was including all of the things I learned back when I was one of the first women in oil and gas, and that was, many times around the sun ago. And everything I've learned through entrepreneurship as I've gone forward. And one thing that became clearly apparent, more apparent than anything else, was not what I had accomplished, but who I had become. As we move through some truly powerful processes and actionable approaches to business, the underlying thought, the underlying question that we will be continually asking each other as we work together and ourselves. Who am I going to be at the end of 2023 after I have completed this, after I have accomplished these 3, 4, or 5 monumental things I have put in front of me that will mean the world to me to see come to fulfillment? Who will I be? Women are notorious, and I say this with all good experience. Women are notorious for not putting themselves in the frame when they are looking at what they're going to accomplish, whether it's write that book, develop that play, create that new company, develop scalability. It becomes about the numbers. It becomes about the action points. It becomes about what has been the standard. And they don't bring themselves into the frame. When we do not bring ourselves into the very center of that frame, we do not put ourselves in a position to access our greatest talents. We do not put ourselves in a position to value our accomplishments. And what I have found true with the thousands of women I've spoken with over the years is we become highly focused on sidestepping the fears. I was told long ago, very long ago, by a truly wise man who was my mentor back in the early 90s. If you don't feel fear, you're not pushing your comfort zone. So when you feel fear, recognize that this is a signal that you are growing beyond any place you've ever been before. When we combine being able to address the fears in this way, being able to welcome them because, oh, here I grow again. And who will I be on the other side of this one? One step at a time. Who will I be on the other side of this fear? Who will I be on the other side of this challenge? Who will I be at the end of 2023? We invite more of ourselves forward. We put ourselves in the frame in a way that we have not had the habit of doing, that we have not been taught to do, and in fact that we have been taught not to do. Because we don't want to be accused of all those terrible labels that have been put on women in business since business began. And in the process of not being willing to put ourselves in the frame, not being willing to risk being called one of those labels, we adhere to standards that don't often align with who we are. Now, there are going to be some traditions, some standards, some ways of doing business that fit very well. But there are a great majority of them that don't. Who are you going to be on the other side of that fear? Who are you going to be on the other side of that project? Who are you going to be on the other side of that moment when you advocated for yourself, whether you were given leadership of that big project or not? Who are you going to be on the other side of having taken a chance on you? And what are the tools that are going to help you to feel more comfortable advocating for yourself? What are the actionable practices that are going to give you the confidence to take a step that all too many women do not take? Now, I know it's easy to have it cross our mind and say, well, not me. Not me. I'm going to tell you a story. Tell me if this has ever fit you. One evening, a couple years ago, a very good friend of mine who is the top recruiter for a top New York City executive recruiting firm. This is a firm that only deals with C-suites, mostly in the smaller numbers of the Fortune group, the Fortune 250, Fortune 100, etc. My friend was distraught. Now, this is not the first time I'd ever heard her distraught on this topic, and unfortunately, it wasn't the last time I'd ever heard her distraught on this topic. It was just making her crazy that the overwhelming majority of women she worked with. Now, remember, I said these are C-suite people. These are not amateurs who are just entering the job field. The overwhelming majority of women she worked with consistently insisted on requesting a salary beneath their value. And when she would coach them and advocate for them, to them, even in circumstances when she was able to honestly say that the company in question was eager to balance the male-female numbers in their executive suite. They were tending in a focused way to build gender equity, these same women would not increase their salary requests. Now, these are women at the top of their game. These are the women at the top of anyone's game if they're qualified for and applying for and being considered for C-suite roles. Yes, I can speak. I learned last week. C-suite roles in Fortune 100 companies. We do this to ourselves and we do this to each other, and it's time to stop. One of the ways that I am helping women to break these boundaries, shatter their own internal glass ceilings, is to focus on who they want to become. This doesn't mean they're going to become someone else that they saw down the block. It is not an invitation for them to compare themselves to anyone, Sheryl Sandberg or the cashier down the road, because comparison breeds unhealthy competition. It is an invitation for them to feel into themselves and find potentials that have always existed, but that have never been given permission to come forward and to be realized. Who are you going to be at the end of 2023? Who is that woman who's going to say, oh yeah, that's right, I did that. Oh, and I also did that and that and that. Not from an egoic place, from a place of being able to honor yourself, a place of such appreciation for your greatness, your capacity. And the thing that excites me the most about bringing forward this opportunity for women to learn new ways, practice together new ways to shatter their own internal glass ceilings, is that as any one of us does this, even a little bit, and in any different area, we open pathways for other women. As the great Alanya Van Zandt, who I deeply admire, I haven't met her, but I deeply admire her from afar, as she says, the way to your own success is to help someone else get there first. Well, one of the things on my spreadsheet for 2023 is to help at least 20 women increase their salary from 12 to 25%. Now, I fully anticipate there are going to be a couple of superstars in there that, regardless of what I do, they already have it in them to accomplish that. And so therefore, they're probably going to increase their salary by much more than that. But it is my incredible goal, and I do this with great excitement, to help at least 20 women reach places in a shorter period of time that they might not have thought they could reach, or that they thought would take them much longer to achieve. Because then that means I don't know everyone those women know. That means they become inspirations in their circle. And maybe there will be 20 women who saw them do that, who go out and do it for themselves or come to them and say, "How did you do that?" This truly is the time of the woman. And that is going to require of us that we come out from behind our self-imposed limitations. And that we cease to be afraid of each other. From Forbes to Harvard Business Review and on. The reports of the increase in women-to-women incivility is, well, it's heartbreaking to me. It's astounding to many. And that's just because we are afraid of each other. Well, you know where that came from? It came from the patriarchal training when we were little. That came from the internalized misogyny that our grandmothers or our mothers had, that they shared with us and that we gobbled up like tomato soup. And all that accomplishes is keeping all women suppressed. It allows the foot of the patriarchy to stay on the throats of all women. Because if a woman must be maintaining a state of incivility toward other women in her professional life, then she's obviously maintaining a state of internal discomfort. I don't want that for any of us. We deserve more. We are worthy of more. So, who are you going to be at the end of 2023? Oh, Lesley, what'd you do? Come on here just to give us a preach? No. I came on here at the beginning of 2023, to speak to all of my listeners who've been with me for a while and all of those of you who are just tuning in, to invite you to a party. A party that is based in and being thrown by and for women who are ready to let so much of their audacity and tenacity and brilliance emerge and come out and play and be loud and share that with each other. I came to invite you to a party. It's our turn to be celebrated. And who better to celebrate us than us? I'd love to celebrate with all of you. So welcome to 2023. Yes, you'll be hearing about shattering your own glass ceilings because I'm going to scream it from the rooftops. I am committed to helping women claim their value. But I'm also going forward this year, going to bringing on many women who are breaking glass ceilings all over the place. Whether they are shattering glass ceilings in diversity, equity, and inclusion, whether they are shattering glass ceilings in business, whether they are shattering glass ceilings in entrepreneurialism. Did you know that women are the talk of the town in entrepreneurialism? Oh, that's right. Our numbers are putting the men's numbers to shame. I'll have to be sure and celebrate that at our party. I'm going to be bringing on women who are helping people understand what their values are and how to discover what their values are so that they can bring that part of themselves into their lives, into their world, into their professions. And what I'm going to ask of you is to go to the comments. Now, of course, I always invite you to follow. I always invite you to share. But I want you to go to the comments. Any of you who are willing. What have you seen that you would like to see more of on Women We Should Know? What have you not seen on Women We Should Know that you would enjoy seeing, that you would enjoy hearing other women speak to? Let's get a conversation going. And from there, we'll get to know each other. We'll be ready for the party. I hope you have a most brilliant 2023. I hope you join us frequently here. Hope you follow some of the women we bring on because they are doing amazing things. And I hope you show up for the party. I want to see your face. I want to hear your voice. I want to know who you are and not just be characters typed on a keyboard, but we never meet. So as you go forward, as I always love to remind you, and of course, truth is I'm reminding myself as well, you really are stronger and wiser than you have ever yet dared to dream, but who you very well might recognize when you look in the mirror at the end of 2023.